Hi everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't have a project for you today. Today I'm going to talk to you about die cutting. I'm celebrating 5 years of being a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I've been revisiting some of my favourite projects and some of my most popular tutorials, my most popular videos. The tutorial, well, it's not even a tutorial, the video that gets the most engagement to this day is one that I did way back when I hadn't been a demonstrator very long, and it was about how to straighten your bent Sizzix Big Shot plates. That's not easy for me to say. And to this day, it still gets comments, it still gets views. It's my most popular video. And I thought that since I was revisiting my favourite videos, I thought perhaps I'd revisit that one as well. So here is the plate that I used in that video. Promise you it is the same plate. Now, as you can see, it's split, and it has been almost retired, but not quite, and it's a little bit bowed, but it's in reasonable shape. And I promise you, this one has been straightened many times. Now, if you want to go back and have a look at that original video I did, by all means feel free to do so. I wouldn't, because I did it a very long time ago and I've moved on since then. But what I used to do was I wrapped this very tightly in aluminium foil. I put it on a baking tray. I put a heavy Pyrex glass baking dish on top of it and filled it with water. Put it into a cold oven. Let the oven come up to temperature. Now, it wants to be a cool oven, so for me that was about 110 degrees Celsius. Not sure what that would be in Fahrenheit, but it's a pretty slow oven, all right? Because all I was trying to do was to warm the plate and to warm the water in the dish. So the combination of the warmth of the oven and the weight of the water in the dish straightened the plate. And then what I would do after it had had about 20 minutes or so, I would turn the oven off and I would let everything cool down inside the oven. And that was largely so I wasn't carrying big dishes full of boiling hot water across my kitchen. I've had a lot of comments. I want to say straight away that that method is not recommended by Sizzix, all right? And if you let the oven get too hot, you will melt your plate. And there is also a danger of fumes being given off if you let your oven get too hot. And that's one of the reasons why you wrap everything up nice and tightly in aluminium foil. I've followed that method faithfully ever since. Every time my plates get to the stage where I think I'm either going to have to use new plates and throw the old ones out, it's kind of a last resort for me. It's a case of, okay, let's see if I can get one, a few more cuts out of this plate. And as you can see, that's a few years ago. That's got to be 4 years ago, and yeah, it's still the same plate. But the reason why I have retired it is because I have switched over to using one of these as my cutting plate. So the way I do my sandwiches these days is I have my standard platform. This is if I'm going to be cutting a wafer thin die. I've got my standard platform, and then on top of that I've got my thin die adapter. My cutting mat goes on top. My die and my paper or card or whatever I'm cutting goes on top of that with the die face down, and then I put my other plate on top, run the whole thing through the Big Shot. I've had this for about a year. It's 3 millimeters thick. That seems to be the critical measurement for a Big Shot. I find I don't need a shim, I don't need anything else with it, and as you can see, this one is looking pretty clean, and that's because the other day I thought it was looking a little bit bowed, so I just poured that one in, put that one into a bowl and poured boiling water out of the kettle onto it, and it just, first of all, it just made it lay nice and flat again, and it also cleaned out all the little bits of dirt that were sitting in the mat. So I can use it on that side, I can use it on that side. It works absolutely perfectly for me. Again, if you're going to have a try of this, I would suggest that you proceed with caution first of all, because if your mat is too thick, then you may damage your machine. These are cheap as chips. All right, I think I paid about £3 for this one. I've got another one spare at the same time. Don't think I even paid that much. I think it was more like £2. I got it from eBay. I've also seen the same kind of mat on Amazon UK. All right, so as I was saying, proceed with caution, because if your mat is too thick, then you may damage your machine. If it's too thin, it's not that big of a deal. You just add a few shims, all right, and you will get to know, you'll get to know your machine. Okay, so that is how I'm doing my die cutting these days. I know Stampin' Up have discontinued the Stampin' Up Big Shot. I'm still using my Big Shot. I have two Big Shots. I have the classic Big Shot, which was one of the first ones that was produced, and I have the fold away, which is my go-to machine. I have other die cutting machines. I've got a wide format one, I've got the Grand Caliber, and I've also got an electronic one. I've got the Snap, but it is always the Big Shot that I go to because it is the most versatile, and it's particularly the fold away. It's right there and it's very easy to use. So that is it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Next Door's dog is also joining in. I will be back with a normal crafting project in the very near future, so do come back and join me again, won't you? But for now, bye bye.